Oh, the oversight committee, I still stand for the pledge of allegiance. That's what I want.
No problem with that.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call. Daily,
Here.
Nightingale,
Here.
teacher is not here, Strong.
Yep.
Motion to move the minutes on November 13th, 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Second it, Mark.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
All right.
All right. Is Batman around? Love it. Little Batman?
You have to put a signal up.
All right.
We actually created a meme for that.
I can answer any questions that, best of my ability, for the board of election. Do you have any questions for me for regarding the board of elections, the report?
Mr. Chair, I did have a question. Maybe we can email it to the commissioners. I was curious when we looked at when you gave us the stats about the number of voters who actually voted. I was curious about how many actual registered voters we have in the county. So it'd be interesting to see the percentage of folks who are voting versus those who are eligible and registered and are not voting. Yeah, I was just curious about that. No particular reason why, just curiosity.
In the entire county?
Yes, across the county, how many registered voters, eligible registered voters versus that 13,000 plus that actually went to the polls?
I will ask Pete, and we'll answer that. That's a great question. Any other questions for the board of elections? No report from Sheila. Brendan and the lawyers have no updates as well. There's, Ms. Patterson here. Sam, I know you're here. So are you standing in for Sheila? Shelley, I keep saying Sheila. Okay. You got anything you want to report on or? Any questions for Sam?
It's a resolution.
I was gonna say she got red.
You do it right now. That's the common clerk, so. We could do it now, though. You have to answer for the county clerk as well, Sam.
Huh.
Are you referring to GO1, Mark? Okay. All right, let's do it right now. That we.
I'll move GO1 for discussion.
Thank you, Deb.
My only question is, in the total dollar amount being retained, how does that look in regards to what we were retaining prior?
So we were paying 199,000 a year, and then according to that worksheet, for the salary percentage that's put in, it would be 266, which increases, I think, monthly was like on that worksheet.
Like 50,000 or more?
Yeah, $55,000 a month increase from 1666 to
Okay,
22.
and that's just reflective of the current salaries and the staff time spent on the function?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I know we've been talking about that for a while, so thanks for getting that done.
So that's $5,000 more a month.
50,000 a year. Yes, I think.
More than that, 57,000, 199 to 6.
So the projected increase monthly would be, or annually, 66,471.
All right.
Monthly would be 5,539.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
And sorry. You submit that to the state, then they react
You
to
guys
it?
would have to approve it, and then we would have to submit that to the state, then the state would have to approve that.
Okay, that doesn't, in your mind, take months and months?
No, it was supposed to be submitted by December 1st, but the person from the state we've been in contact with said he would get on it right away once it's submitted.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so move. All right, so we're gonna have a Shelley. But, yeah, no update from the historian as well. So,
So, you have my, report. I didn't know if there's any specific questions you may have or updates I could provide to you based on that.
any questions for Tom?
Tom, I have kind of a dumb question. I don't even know if it's relevant. As far as in regards to our AI policy. Do we have like? I'm not even sure how to answer this. I mean, we have a high use of AI in the county, in the.
I don't know how to really gauge what high is, but we definitely have usage of AI, which is obviously was prompted this policy. So Sheila actually has that on the agenda for today. So, I mean, I can give you kind of like an overview of what the policy is.
I mean, I'm assuming that as time goes on,
Yep.
AI is going to be more and more prevalent
Absolutely.
in our day-to-day world.
Yep.
Here in the county.
Mhm.
What would be an example of AI usage?
Yeah, so AI usage right now, you know, we want to use the tool to kind of augment what we're doing, not really change things at this point in time, right? So I can use examples like reviewing a large, like 60-page proposal and having, you know, an AI tool kind of summarize it into 2 paragraphs for somebody. It's time saving, right?
Yeah.
Help you craft a really detailed email that has maybe a lot of technical language in that you want to try to, you know.
Dummy down?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simple.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Simplify.
Yeah. So that's how we see using the tool right now, because obviously we have, you know, usage, right? So the idea of putting this policy in is to say, as a county, we want to adopt
Mhm.
technology, right? But we want to do it in a safe, responsible way. So, you know, working with Rich and Sharina in operations, we kind of looked at it and want to adopt something that has guardrails. So we want to get training, appropriate training to all our staff, make sure they completely understand how to use the tool in a safe way. We're not like uploading sensitive private information, you know, into like these generative AI tools like ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot. And you, like I said, use it in a way to augment what we're doing now. That's how we use it today. Going forward, yes, we want to look at how we can integrate AI software into some of the applications that we're currently using as a county. And there's some processes and procedures set up in that policy, how we would approve that. So we would look at it, you know, from an IT standpoint, making sure that we're, you know, we understand like where the data lives and making sure that it's all private into the county. And then once we have all this data into a private, we'll call it a private cloud in our county, we can start leveraging that to do really, really powerful things that potentially can be huge cost savings to us long term.
I guess the next question I have, you've already kind of touched on a little bit.
Yep.
Is it going to be secure? And I mean, you said we're going to have our own cloud storage area and only certain people will be able to access that?
Yeah, so that's down the road. But for right now, what we're going to do is once we adopt this policy, we're going to block all generative AI websites completely. Then we set up training opportunities for employees who would like to use AI in their job function. They go through the training, they sign off, they completely understand what the policy is, they sign off on the policy, then they're granted access to the tools. Because we want to make sure that obviously we're using this in the most responsible way possible, but also, you know, obviously allowing the access.
And same thing around data breaches. You don't want to put something that's protected into this. Okay,
Exactly.
and that's what the training will be.
Yes.
Here's what you can use and here's the stuff you can't put in there.
That's right. And these are for the tools like the ChatGPTs and the Microsoft Copilot and the Google Gemini. That's what's called generative AI. So Gen AI tools. That's what we want to provide training on now, because those are the things that are being used. The long term, yes, we want to start integrating more AI software functionality into some of the applications we use, whether it's in, you know, DA's office or the jail or health department. But that's kind of down the road a little bit.
All right, well, that You kind of answered my personal dumb question, I guess. I appreciate that. Thank you. And it looks like we're doing a good thing, I hope.
Yes.
So the general chat that generates stuff,
Mhm.
composed of anything that just finds data and makes its own? Like what's it, A&L generated? You put something in, like, is what
Yeah.
other?
Yeah, so like I said, those are some of the examples that you can use the ChatGPT for now is, you use it as like kind of how we use Google today. If you have a
Yeah.
question, it can answer your questions. If you want to find out more about a topic, it can answer, that. If you want to have it craft you an email, if you want to have it review a document that doesn't have sensitive information in it, you can have it do that.
I understand
Yep,
that, but what other thing is it? Ain't they all like that?
Yeah, the tools are very similar in terms of what they can do, but their potential is really unlimitless.
Okay,
It
so we're
can do
talking about the future, okay.
But the idea is just to make sure that we're using this in a safe, appropriate way right now. And that's what the training aspect of the whole policy is about. So.
If I can offer an example, the INS to compare various home equity loan terms available for, and I gave it a list of banks that I wanted to review, and it gave me back a complete report, for what you want to do. This bank is best, and, if all there, because any information that's out there in the internet, the AI will grab it. So it's available.
Filed in your way.
And that's the concern with our policy, that if we put
Yeah.
information out there, it's out there forever.
They get smarter too.
And it's smart. You draft contract, draft resolution, it can draft the AI policy actually, because I used it to help draft the AI policy. And so what it's doing is it's grabbing an example that somebody has posted somewhere and putting all that stuff together and saving me, 3 hours of research time trying to find it.
And that's the key. That's the part of this training too, is, Rich and I have talked about this. When you put something in and you get the information in front of your face, there's this perception that it's all accurate. And that's just not the case, right? AI pulls from all the resources that are available to us now, like, Google search and Reddit and some of these other web-based applications that are out there. And that's the key, is just making sure that the training is out there, because you have to trust and verify that the information is truly, truly accurate.
Every level staff will be trained? Is that the
Yep.
plan?
Any staff department, so we're working with the department heads. We want to identify what their goals are with AI, right? And then if they say, yes, this is something that we're interested in doing, yes, all this stuff. They will step through. We have online training sessions set and established, ready to go on all the content. And then they will do a sign off and by the policy.
And all departments are gonna have staff to be trained? I mean, is that fair to say the whole county will be trained?
Yeah.
Appreciate the information.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Guys get a little. Pay for the paid version of chat, you'll want to find out who you are, just type in your name. And put legislate after enough, tell you everything that you ever touched or been in the paper.
That's 305. Do you wanna, is that the hope is to put it forward and approve it?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, you want to do it now?
Should we?
Sure.
All right. Can I get a motion for GO5?
Move it.
Let you go a second.
Any discussion? I think we had it. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's passed. Kevin,
Hi there.
Kevin, when you're going through your report, really quickly, if you want to brief us on the 18-year-old that you assisted, I'd like to hear about that story a little bit. So everybody knows the type of, the 18+ year actions including some, so they can be caught on record and knowing some of the stuff you guys do.
Yeah, so what we help out with primarily is claims for compensation. And so as we do events, we talk to veterans and talk to them about benefits and resources. And that's how we generate a lot of our leads coming into the office for compensation, discussions, putting in claims for compensation. And then the other downside of benefits is when someone dies, when a veteran dies, family comes in to put in for burial benefits, grave marker, and that sort of thing. And then sometimes we just have general questions about veteran benefits and some of the activities that we're doing. But those are the ins and outs of what we do on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you. Any questions or anything that you might want to go over, or any questions for Kevin?
I'm just more of a comment.
Okay.
As everybody knows, I'm a veteran and, when, Kevin came on for the county, I actually went over to the office because I've had some issues with the veterans folks. And Kevin solved in about, I'd say probably 6 months, what I'd been working on for 10 years. So, I can personally attest that, the folks that Kevin has employed with him, the work that Kevin and his staff do has been very beneficial to me. He has helped immensely with a personal friend of mine who has some, serious struggles. He's an Iraqi veteran. He has some serious medical issues. Kevin was very, very helpful in getting him some help. So as a personal thing, I can vouch and verify that Kevin's office has been a great help and a great asset to this county, especially to our veterans. And I personally thank him for the work that he has done for me and my friend. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Anything else for Kevin? Thank you for your great job and service, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna go to some of these resolutions right now. I don't know if is the college on? Is
Yep,
Hi.
Kelly.
Yeah,
Kelly,
I'm here.
You want to give us you want to brief on your resolution?
Sure. So every October, SUNY looks to us to say what capital projects would we be having coming up to be on their budget request. So this would be for SUNY 26-27 budget year. So when we entered the lease agreement with the county for the space at the college, part of that agreement was to take $75,000, which was the rent. So we would keep that as our capital chargeback. Normally, we every quarter take our capital chargeback funds and send that back to the county. So we would keep $75,000 for 2 years for a total of $150,000. SUNY would then match that, becoming a project of $300,000 that we would use for deferred maintenance going forward, whether that be HVAC or any type of repairs, equipment repairs, windows, any of those things. That would just ensure we wouldn't have to have emergencies come out of the operating funds going forward. So that's what we were requesting and hoping that we could get your approval on this evening.
Nightingale, I'll move the,
Move for discussion?
or has it already been put on this?
No, move for discussion, I second it.
I'll second.
Yep. Anybody got any questions for her at all?
At this time.
Okay. All right, we're gonna vote on it, Kelly, all right?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it is passed.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, go to GO3, designating December 11th as the date of annex the tax warrant. Can I get a motion?
I'll move it.
Second it, Mark.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Designating the newspaper to publish county matters of the year 2026. Can I get a motion?
Nightingale, move it.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
GO6, fix the date, time, place for meeting to organize the Cayuga County Legislature for 2026. Can I get a motion?
I'll move that or second.
Any discussion?
This is the organizational meeting next January. January 2nd, I believe, the resolution said.
January 2nd.
What's the time, Rich?
4 o'clock.
4. Be there, Mark.
Maybe.
We still gotta take a picture, guy. Poor Amanda's been chasing us around with that camera. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Still passed, okay. I'm gonna, put a motion on the table, I want to talk about these two resolutions by, GM. The,
Ledge one, you mean, Brian?
like one.
Fuel 6.
Oh, did we?
Wait a minute, never mind.
Oh, we just did that.
I wrote my notes on the wrong place. Sorry, my mistake.
Let's do, one of the things I think that's crucial in this environment is to evaluate all opportunities to earn revenue in our situation. Does not mean that the timing is right. It also means that, we cannot, we cannot not discuss it if it's available to us. And, one of the things I wanted to do is get some feedback from the public and also possibly get a good discussion going. And it's hard to have discussions when they're not on agendas in a public forum. So, this GO1, I
You mean ledge 1?
Ledge one, sorry. Are we still open for the hearing right now, the public hearing? We had a public hearing on this, is that?
The public hearing will take place next week.
December.
In full legend.
So I'm gonna,
I think that you're wondering about holding the public hearing, but not moving forward on.
that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm
Yep.
trying to take.
At least let the public
I
weigh
think the
in.
public needs to weigh in. We can hold a discussion. We tend to hear about the people that are opposed to it. But there is some people that understand the climate that we're in and also understand that they reap some of the benefits of not paying extra fees that some of the other counties have had. I do not think that next week that, this resolution may pass unless, some legislative change their mind, but I do think it's important for us to continue to discuss and what the opportunities might be in 2020, that's and beyond. As far as GO2, I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm gonna table that as of now. I just think that, with all the influx of, taxes going up and all the other fees, it could be pretty tough on our county to institute all these taxes at one particular time. So I'm gonna table GO2. And, just so you know that, my constituents most likely wouldn't be affected by this, but the county as a whole would be. So I'm gonna, we're going to discuss this with some of the people that are outside of the city that, this resolution would affect. I'd like to hear their opinions a little bit more, but we did get the discussion going and that was my attempt. So, for right now, I'm going to table GO2, but I do like to see GO1 move on to a public hearing. There's
Ledge 1 and 2.
Ledge 1 and 2.
Yes.
Sorry, I apologize. Ledge 1 and 2.
So to be clear.
Yep.
You want ledge 1 to go forward.
Yes,
Ledge 2 is tabled.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
Clear as
we need a
mud.
motion and a second on ledge 1.
Okay,
Well, if it's a ledge resolution, we don't vote on it tonight.
They're ledge resolutions. I think they're just here for information purposes.
That would be my information.
Which
yeah.
I just was for the record and for clarification.
Hold on, Jonathan has a
Oh.
question.
I'm going to request a question for my agenda.
Ledge two is going to be pulled.
Agenda.
Pledge two.
Okay, thanks.
Since that came up in conversation, so.
Okay.
And just for point of clarification, the public hearing is set and it's set to be, it's scheduled. It'll open, we'll have the opportunity on ledge one to have the public be heard in regards to this, but there is no obligation after that public hearing to move this forward at this time. Is that correct? Rich?
But at least we had the public hearing. And I would say something to our pros and cons. It's important for everybody to be heard on this matter. So I would like for people to speak up and, because I have received some people say, I don't even know what my registration is. If it's a few dollars, I don't care. And I had some people also, as we, say strong opposed to it. So I think it's, this is something we can have a public hearing on and we can continue to talk about through 2026. So that being,
Okay,
is there any other legislative business? Otherwise, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move it, Mark.
Second, Heidi?
Did I hear you, Hans? Did you say move? Did you
I'd
say?
like to point out, one of the things I heard on the news tonight or this afternoon was New York State has lost population again. I don't know how many years in a row we got people moving out and the main reason seems to be high taxes. And you want to impose more taxes? No. Voted for it.
Hans, we're never not sure where you stand.
But
We're never not sure where you stand.
Yeah, like I said, Hans, this is, I understand that, but, we gotta survive, and we just had a conversation about it. Like I said, I am cool with it too, and I think God had already mentioned he's taken off his agenda, so. So all in favor of
Adjourning.
adjourning?
Aye.
All right. Anybody opposed?
Order. By the way, Aileen has got stuck with her car, so she's not gonna be here. I tried to call you, but. Well. Time of year, ain't it? Yeah. Oh, it's.
Okay.
You get. Oh, yeah, you got them all. You're good.
Motion to approve the minutes of November the 13th, 2025. So move. Tom,
Second?
second, Aileen. All in favor?
All right.
Thank you. There are no appointments on this agenda. We'll move right into department updates. Carrie?
All right, very quick, I have two topic question announcements that are not in my report, they just happened. The first is an update on the broadband project, and please, Chairman and fill in if I miss anything. I think you guys have been kind of kept up to date by Chairman Anna, but the state has terminated their contract with regional planning for that broadband project for Cayuga and Cortland counties, but they are actively trying to move forward with each county separately. One thing that will be brought to you all next week will be a resolution to apply for some grant funding through the Connect All office in their partnership and trying to find a path forward for all of us. For Cayuga County, they've offered some grant money through a separate state grant program, separate from that federal money, to help us do a countywide plan, build on the information we have from regional planning and ECC to do a better plan forward countywide for deployment of broadband, and identify a long-term and short-term plan, see if there's a way we can move anything forward by the deadline at the end of 2026. It also gives us an opportunity to look at a variety of operations, maintenance, and ownership models, everything from 100% county owned and operated to 0% and everything in between, what that could mean for us on both an expense and revenue side, as well as the opportunity to look at our own dark fiber network and how we can extend that for emergency services, public safety, municipalities. Wish Tom was still here because he just did it out, but Rich, got the same thing?
No, that sums it up.
I actually started with email procedure and I'm finishing next. It was a little bit. Right around this project. The state has offered us technical support and a planning grant. To allow us to plan out and to build upon what we already started. That does not box us in or mandate that we move forward, because if the state's made it clear that we don't have a scope of work that can be complete by the end of 26, a meaningful scope of work as part of the overall plan and have a phased approach, that they wouldn't support anything or do a GDA that wouldn't be done by substantial completion. 6. With that said, there is an opportunity to get some things built out as well. And this continues to say fluid. Yesterday, after we met with the state on Monday, we had a meeting yesterday already. We're in the process of getting that scope of work lined up for the grant proposal, and we should have that partially reviewed by the beginning of next week. So.
Just to point of clarification, there is no financial risk by moving forward with this planning grant at all.
Correct.
There's no
And-
match required.
Yes, and when or if we identify a smaller scale back project that they could potentially put a GDA to
So.
and cost it out, that's when we would be.
So the planning grant allows us to take a look at what was already done.
Yep.
Build upon it, potentially, package a plan that fits Cayuga County better than previous, the 2-county approach. With multiple tie-in points, obviously Oswego County has their network they're doing. Southern Tier Network has their network, so there's possible connection points, one to the south, north, south and north. Along with that is the fact that they're gonna look at this, they're gonna look at if they're gonna use this planning grant to build out an entire big scope and plan. And then they're gonna look at this and say, okay, what can we accomplish out of this for the time for remaining, whether it's a connection point in the south and a small build out, or a connection point in the north and a small build out, to at least get partially part of this project started. There's also a conversation potentially additional resources that could say for us in the future, and those conversations are, like I said, they're fluid. So.
And it'll also position us to have a countywide plan for future funding opportunities when they come up to build out additional phases and have better service countywide for the unserved and underserved population. So yes, those resolutions will be coming next week, and we're doing our best to draft that application. Connect All offices offered to do a cursory review. This is all happening outside of their normal grant process for us. I spoke with Cortland County this afternoon. They've been offered the same thing. So they're being very helpful.
Yes, go ahead.
So essentially, what is positive is that it allows us to move forward with broadband despite this grant funding cut from Connect with the state. So that this doesn't just sit and become a non-issue again and stay on a back burner.
Right.
We can continue to let our public in those spots that are generally south and north know that they're not forgotten. We're moving, we've got opportunities to move forward and increase the opportunity for internet and broadband.
This is important to the state, it ties into the Excelsior network and the state themselves, money on the call, New York State Thruway and the corridor. And they're putting the money where their mouth is. It is imperative, it's important to them, it's important for us. So, and to see the state's going department for this.
And the last piece, so there's a second resolution you'll get next week for broadband that the attorneys have been working on to formally terminate the agreement that the county has with regional planning and CNY. So there'll be 2 next time that you'll see it at least.
That's a formality.
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
Resolving the LDC.
Yes. The only other announcement I have that's not in my report, because we just found out about it this morning, is the results of the Northern Border Regional Commission grants were announced today. Happy to say that we got the $100,000 for the housing study. Sadly, we did not get the money for the Dovell Island Bridge though. So some good news and some disappointing news at the same time. Any questions on my report? I know I have 4 resolutions tonight. Anything else anyone wants to know
Do you have
about?
any questions for Carrie on her report? All right, let's dive into the resolution. Bill one.
Okay, first one up is our annual resolution for our FLUCA funds. So this is our annual contract with Oswego County, who is the state's pass-through for all the counties for FLUCA funds. So this allows us to contract and receive those funds for the state fiscal year 25-26, but starting in January 26 for us.
Okay, entertain a motion for PL one.
Move it. Second.
Second, what,
Any questions for Carrie? Any
no, this is ongoing funding we've had forever.
And it's already in the budget,
Yep.
at least both the months.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, so the extension of the NXI agreement. So this is our last one-year extension option for our HHW collection vendor. We'd like to exercise that option. We are also acknowledging in the resolution that we will put this out to RFP to bid again next year to see who bids on it following our own county procurement policies. They've been an excellent vendor to work with for the project.
Entertain a motion for PL two.
Move it. Second.
Ben, thank you.
Do RFP it because we pay the vendor for the work they do?
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is the last
Mhm.
extension available in the contract. We had 2 1-year, so we'll put it out to bid again. And we'll see who responds. You know, if MXI shows up with the best value again, we'll contract with them again.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? PL two carries. PL three.
Okay, PL 3 is also an annual resolution. This one I always find kind of funny because it's packaged as a grant to DEC, but this is our reimbursement request for 50% of the eligible expenses for the event. And the definition of what's eligible kind of changes every year. It's a little bit lengthy. But this is something that we do every year to get that money and get that revenue back. And that revenue is in the budget for next year.
And we generally have 2.
We have one HHW event every year in the fall. We have 2 electronics e-waste events, one in the spring and one in the fall. Those are not eligible for reimbursement. It's just a hazardous event.
Those two are tied together or no, they're different?
No, they're different. One is our vendor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically, because it's
Yes.
the vendor for that event.
Yeah,
And the other is reimbursement of a partial of the cost for the event.
okay.
We'll entertain a motion for PL three.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second, Tom, thank you. Any questions or further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Carrie.
Okay, so the last one, and I do have the paperwork. I did check with Sheila and Amanda. They apologize. They sent everything on Teams and not everyone got it, but I did print a copy if anybody wants it. This is the infrastructure grant that was identified in a previous resolution for our Clean Energy Communities grant as part of additional revenue that we can get. It's basically a rebate for the charging stations that are going to get installed here at the park through that Clean Energy Communities grant. So this was 40,000 that was already counted for in our revenue, that 194 and change, thousand and change. The application window just finally opened for us to be able to apply and get that revenue, those rebates for the new charging stations.
And this is 2 charging stations or 6?
It says
It'll be 6.
up to 6.
6 ports.
6 ports.
It's 3 physical stations. Each one has 2
Okay.
ports.
Ports.
Move it.
A second for discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I got all confused because
I know.
I
There's a
really,
lot of moving parts.
and
to
I'm
this.
like, is this a new grant or this is an old grant that I was very, I didn't know what I was reading.
Yeah, so it's a new grant opportunity, because it wasn't open and available when we got the Clean Energy Community Grant last year to start the process for the charging stations and the solar. But we knew that it was coming up. It just wasn't open and available for us to apply to get that 40,000. And essentially what is a rebate for putting in the charging stations.
So we already put in the charging stations and you're getting the rebate.
They're not installed yet. They
Oh.
are
Oh,
under contract and getting ready to go, but they're not installed.
by June first.
Yeah,
okay, so this was old news that we were gonna have charging stations at the park.
yes.
We currently have them or we don't?
We have none in park.
Okay, so these will be the two that look like six or what?
Yes,
there'll be Okay.
6 available ports, yep.
Okay, and that's kind of finishing up on something that was started.
It's finishing up on realizing additional revenue that we identified,
Okay,
but wasn't available for us to apply yet.
Okay.
Much like those tax incentives, you have to do it and spend the money to then
okay.
put in the
Spending
paperwork.
claim, sort of,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Where is the solar stuff coming from?
The solar is a separate piece
Of
of the
old
overall.
grant?
Yep,
Or-
so
See, I'm so confused.
it's okay. The clean energy grant had two main components,
Mhm.
the charging stations and then solar. The solar was originally supposed to go on the motor pole roof. But that project is way behind schedule to replace the motor pool roof.
Oh, because it
So-
can't be put on there until the roof's replaced.
We
Okay,
don't have enough time, so we've reorganized and got clearance with the state to reallocate the solar here at the park to offset the electrical needs of some of the park
a
buildings.
solar array is going
Yeah.
somewhere.
Somewhere, most likely ground mounted. They're working on that right now.
Most likely where?
A ground mount
Ground
location, we've proposed a couple
Ground
of.
Mountain?
Ground mounted,
Oh, I'm like, where's Ground Mountain?
not on the roof, on the ground.
But somewhere in the park that no one knows about?
Over here. It'll be on the non-historic side. It'll be over by the offices.
Not really
Shop.
visible.
Same thing, but different.
I mean, not in this core part of the historic part of the park.
Yeah. It will not be over there. It'll be over behind the park offices and their garage. Serve the main park buildings over there.
How big is the array?
It's actually relatively small. I think it nets out under 1,000 square feet.
Per megawatt?
10 by 10.
And it makes. I'd have to look at the,
Never heard of it.
yeah, it's 7 or 8, I think that it's supposed to put out. It's
On
less than
what you said
11.
by 1,000, it's gotta be pretty small.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
But it'll use up the rest of that grant.
Just a question.
Sure.
I'm mowing. I mean, the sun comes up in the east, sets in the west. How much east and west is this gonna face if it's behind the building?
What was originally proposed for the roof mount was not articulating, so it's a fixed array that faces south. It picks up maximum solar radiation at the middle of the day and it tails off on both sides at the end of the day.
Right.
It would be enough to basically offset the usage, especially of those buildings, if we were able to do the power injection where we bring in power from NICEAG. It would really offset our building over there, which are the two shops that the theater uses in our building.
So I'm just curious, why did they decide to go to the ground mount instead of the roof?
Because those buildings are pole barns that couldn't handle the loading,
They can't handle the weight.
the wind.
They're not
or the-
designed for the additional load of the solar panels.
Yeah, I'm. Okay.
And that's why it can't go on the existing motor pool roof either. But that whole project is just behind, Brian originally wanted it for motor pool to help offset his costs and we thought that was great, but that project's too far behind for us to do it in time for our grant to be completed.
Surprise. And then we're getting the grant back. It'll be zero cost.
But they, just like the one that's doing Nature Center, it's a charge. It's not free for the public to use.
Are they being used enough up there to offset the cost of the units?
Yeah, they generated at least several $100s a month, which is double what our electric usage is.
Upkeep and maintenance, is there a contract for that or is it?
There is $100 you can do something like that. They have the ability to look in and do maintenance, and then they have remote maintenance. Their PM is included with that. Their annual PMs are included with that.
So we believe that the income generated will offset the cost of the expenditure.
Definitely the annual costs, yeah. If we had to pay for them up front, that would be a different story, but since we're doing this with a grant and we don't have the initial cost rolled up to those, they're net positive for us year after year.
And we're using the same vendor, so it'll be the same software, same contract.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, we don't have to have a different contract. It's the same. vendor.
This is my ignorance. Those solar arrays will turn into energy that we can use for our buildings. How does that all work?
Yeah, I mean, if we can use it on, it'll be injected at our meter, so we can either use it if we.
The
can use it if
energy
we need it.
that's
Yeah.
created gets injected into your meter?
I guess-
So
okay.
if I have solar, I have solar, So I'm connected to the grid. So when I'm producing energy, what happens is it uses the power I produce from my solar.
Yeah.
And then any excess energy actually goes out to the grid and we get credits for it. I'm not saying this will be set up this way here, but that's how mine's set up. And then when the sun is down and there's snow covered, obviously I'm drawing from RG&E and I use my credits. And then if I run out of credits, then I pay a bill. So it's basically, you're still connected to the grid. And so you're back feeding the grid with excess energy. And then when you're not producing, you're using energy and using your credits up that you put out in the grid and excess energy. I don't know if that's how it works in municipality, but that's how it works on the residential side.
I think what Elaine's asking is how does it work? She thinks it's magic.
Yeah, I'm like, I knew it wasn't magic.
Something happens.
Yeah.
Sequence of things happen, so it works.
If you had an old analog meter, it actually spins the other way.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
Yes.
Okay.
But these are projects that they've been in the pipeline for a while.
Yes,
And this is now finding the revenues.
to
And
finish getting,
yes,
maximizing all the revenue that we're owed or capable of getting, yes.
Okay. Did we
didn't vote yet. You got a motion in a second,
got a motion in a second.
right?
and then we,
Discussion.
yeah,
Correct.
Yeah, and then we did, the horse is
Yep.
dead. So
Yep.
all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Carrie.
You got that water dead.
Long.
Needed some more.
All right, Kelly King is excused. Well, let's just jump to Doug because he's up.
Well, thanks, appreciate that.
Hey, no problem.
Up and down.
I'm here for you.
I met with the Parks Commission last night. That's why there were no updates, because I generally do that after we meet. Their meeting is November, December are combined, because it ends up with, right, basically Christmas Day, and no one really would attend that one, as you can imagine. A couple updates. So they did want to update our rental rates. They're going to make some recommendations, which will come up as a resolution in January to increase some of the rental rates at the shelters here at Emerson Park. Increase the boat slip rental fees, the seasonal fees, to keep parity with private enterprise around us that also does that same business. As well as some consolidation of some parking fees. We've got some feedback that some of the rates were confusing, so we kind of consolidated all those. They don't make a net change, but they're a little bit more on just on the customer service side. Those were discussed last night, as well as some of the ongoing projects that we have. We're still awaiting word from DOT on some road work that we'd like to do there. And then obviously there's a lot of resolutions to review. These were the net of a lot of the other conversations that we've had over the previous 2 months. We lost heat in one of our buildings this morning over here, so we're repairing that.
Are you getting the assistance of buildings and grounds to do that?
No, we do it ourselves.
Oh.
We have our own vendors, yeah.
Okay, you want to get into the back?
Sure. So let's see, PL5. The first resolution we have, this is language that's required for a grant that we've already approved and have been approved to receive. However, part of the closing of the grant disbursement agreement, this is language that they have requested we have in resolution. Therefore, we have written a second resolution. This does reference the fact that we already did approve the application and to accept the grant with resolution 11225. What this does is just delineates in a form that they requested that, yes, we have designated the local match and the amount that it is and where it comes from, which is in-kind services from us. And that also we need to designate the actual authorized representative by resolution. So that's really the purpose of this, is those 2 items. The state wants a succinct resolution.
Motion for PL5, please.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions for Doug on this? Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
PL6 is amending the capital account for the Sterling Nature Center to accept a donation from the Friends of the Sterling Nature Center for capital improvements.
Move it.
I'll second.
Motion in a second. Any questions about this? We love our friends. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
PL seven is authorizing contract for replacement of lighting in the Emerson Park Pavilion.
About this, motion for 7?
Second.
These are all things you want to get sort of,
It's kind of when the quotes have come back,
Uh-huh.
basically. Yes, I mean, these would be funds dedicated from this year's budget, so we'd like to, we will encumber them and carry them over to construction time. But these have been in process contractually. We're trying to get contracts for these for a little while.
Did you make a motion?
No, I was.
Ben seconded. If you want a question, you have to make a motion.
there's been a motion.
We're already in discussion.
Ben seconded.
A motion.
There you go. That's the question.
Just on this one, there was a little confusion when I was reading it as far as, it was one contractor and then another one in there and.
So initially, when we had, we had NAP come in and just do an estimate based on what was there. At the time we had the estimate done, there was an assumption by 2 contractors that we couldn't use some of the dimming hardware that's in the building, some of the dimming circuitry that's there. After our guys actually took it apart and looked at some of the switching there, they were able to make that repair. So we had to change the scope slightly to make sure that we could actually use that capability now that it was repaired. Originally, it was thought to be, it was going to double the cost of the repair. So we were just going to eliminate it and just use switches that went on and off.
Different scope created and therefore another different electrician that got awarded.
Correct. So basically they all had to go back, we had to go back to the drawing board and say the new scope included this dimming that we didn't think we were going to be able to use because of the age of the switches, but that was repairable. We did it. So therefore we changed the scope. So we basically went out to bid again, including that there.
Okay, Legislator Strong, you have a question?
I do. So I'm assuming
He's on.
that this repair or this project is not going to be part of the reallocated ARPA funds, correct?
It wasn't designated by this resolution. It was just to be.
I know, but we had to change what we were going to do with the ARPA funds and we were going to reallocate to some other projects.
Yes.
Money is
And next,
one of them?
this is not one of them, only because we've been working through this since the summer. The projects that we have, which will probably include the repairs on the front of the pavilion to the porch, will absorb as much of that ARPA funding as we want to put in there because it'll be expensive. It'll be expensive exterior work that's going to be required next year for the pavilion.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So you're using 2 vendors here, or you've replaced
The
one with
original
other?
one was the one that originally gave us an
Yeah.
estimate, but then when we
Okay.
actually bid, it wasn't actually
Okay.
a bid because of that, but when we actually sent out a new scope. the
Gotcha.
Winning bidder, if you will, is represented down there,
Okay,
as Saxon's bid.
Okay, in concluding the discussion, all in favor? Any opposed?
PL 8 is authorization to transfer funds to a reserve account.
Motion for PLA. What account are we doing, Doug?
So the account is Reserve Account A18838. It was originally established by Resolution 8014 for repair and maintenance of the Emerson Park Pavilion.
Second.
I was in the office today and I had a question about this, and the quick answer I got was, if this resolution passes, $50,000 will go to the reserve from the A fund. Is that correct?
Because that's where all the revenue is currently going.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And you're building up a reserve for the reason you want to have it for repairs and some other things.
Correct. We've used it throughout the year for repair and replacement of expensive equipment. We use it this year for a roof repair, a door repair, and a door replacement. So generally speaking, it was set up originally to have kind of a direct line to say some of the revenue from the building could be harvested to use for maintenance of the building. It's not set up automatically. So anytime it's funded, it needs to be done by a resolution.
Okay. And you have money in this reserve, but not tons of it?
Not much
Okay.
left. Yeah.
Okay.
Doug, the $100,000 in revenue from the caterer, is that typical year to year? Or is that?
It has increased year to year. It will go up again next year. And then for 27 on, we'll be doing a new RFP that's in process right now that will likely increase significantly.
That's a contract amount too. It's not like a percentage of their sales.
Correct.
This is what they're committing to give you.
Correct.
Okay. And it was 80 something before and now it's 100.
And then 86. This year was forecasted to be 88. It changed to 100 to 110 for next year. And then we're looking at the rate from 27 and further out to increase.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? In conclusion of our discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, I've got more. PL9
Talk about that later.
is authorizing the installation of hardware on Emerson Park Pavilion emergency exit doors.
Give you a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, Bill? Talked about this before, I believe. No questions, all in favor? Did you have a question, Brian? I'm sorry. No, I do not. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carry.
PL10 is authorizing the purchase of all Parks and Fields Department.
Talked about this as well. There's no more gum to be had, so we're gonna bite the bullet.
Oh.
Startled me.
Because you're bringing this
Kinda
because
jumpy
it's
these
in your
days.
budget, but it needs to hit, so higher than the threshold? Okay,
Correct.
all
So
right,
it requires a resolution.
okay.
Motion?
Move it.
Second.
I'll second.
Rather be slow. A motion and second,
Sorry.
no more questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carry.
That's it.
Thank you. And let's not do it this, next December.
Mhm, you mean.
All year we fly through it.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, 10 resolutions. All right, Courtney, you're here and we're gonna bring you up next.
Apologies for not having a report in the packet. I like to get it after board meetings, which was earlier this week, but I do have for you our October Zardico report if you'd like to see this. This is how we track visitor spending and our visitation.
Or
Yeah, fine. Get a hold of it.
So it takes about a month for us to cull this data, but looking at this data, so this is giving you a look at our visitor, which is people that are traveling here outside of 50 miles. So we also track our local visitors, which are visitors that are within 50 miles, and then our local residents. It's a bigger snapshot of what our visitors are doing in Cayuga County. The biggest takeaway here is that our out-of-state visitation did increase 8 percentage points from last year. Basically, that's telling us that Cayuga County is attracting visitors from beyond New York State that have a higher economic impact to our county. We've also had growth within, so part of that growth out of state is Philadelphia. That's one of our biggest markets right now. They're representing about 7% of our visitor spending, but only about 5% of visitation, which means that they have a higher spending availability, the visitors that are coming to us. As far as New York State.
Why from there? Do you have a sense of why?
We have been targeting Philadelphia and areas like, especially for our hybridization, those kind of marketing campaigns. And we are about to embark right now on a luxury campaign because of this data that we are getting from New York City. Our traffic from New York City is increasing, and Philadelphia. When I pulled a report for the Inns of Aurora, they were also seeing visitation from California, Maryland, Rhode Island as well. So we are targeting those areas for a luxury campaign that we're about to work in partnership with Ontario County. We're also targeting those areas for what we call hypercation. We're finding that as, you know, as the economy is how it is, people are wanting to drive a little bit more than fly. So we're really looking at Cayuga County as being a drivable destination. So with hypercation, with luxury marketing campaigns, we're targeting, you know, drives that are probably under 6 hours or so, maybe a little bit out of that, but mostly that's where you get that New York City and Philadelphia traffic from.
Where's this data come from?
It's our research platform called Zardico. So it basically pulls the data from visitor spending, so credit card usage, and also your geolocation on your cell phones.
These percentages, can anybody see these for you? I mean, this is like, what is this?
Yeah, so I'm happy to,
I can read it. I'm just saying, like, I'm not on the committee, but you said something went up by 8%.
Yes, that is our overall year round out of state look at that 8%, which is, this is just a monthly report, but our out of state is tracking at 8%. But I'm happy to pull a report for anyone. So we can drill down on points of interest. So we can pull a report for any location, any attraction.
Okay.
That's accessible to our partners, for sure. So also, if you notice in this, we are still, our attraction and our spending is still food and beverage, retail, shopping, attractions, outdoors. So that really shows us where that, and also accommodation. So it shows us where that occupancy tax and sales tax comes in. So what do we do with this data? We take the recommendations that we are hearing from our partners, from also what we are seeing from the results of our campaigns, but also this data that's showing us different trends that are happening. One of that is telling us that we need to target high value markets like Philadelphia a little bit more. So that's why we are engaging in those luxury type campaigns. Also food and beverage, that's why we've continued pushing the Cayuga cuisine marketing campaign, because that's done really well for us. And we'll also be looking to do winter activity to help boost our shoulder season for those kind of off-season months to really get some of that outdoor attraction as well. So we take this data as we're moving into the end of the year for our last couple of campaigns, but also making our plans as we're moving into 2026.
What do you mean by the luxury?
So basically, luxury assets that we have. So really promoting things like Inns of Aurora Resort and Spa. Some of our wineries, those are more luxury brand. So it's getting visitors here with a higher spending impact. But we are working with our different counties. So right now we're working with Ontario County on a shared luxury campaign because they have the lake house at Canandaigua.
So come here, do a couple of pages. Yeah.
Why do you speak? Why do you use student loans?
That's the way that the data is tracking the platform. It's 50 miles, so your local resident is very hyper-local. And then your visitor is 50 miles, outside 50 miles or more. And then your local visitor is around.
Actually, it's not like this dog's house and took them out for the parade, it's more than 50 miles.
That's a good
why I was
point.
curious, because at the northern tip of the county, it's 36. It's just a city.
Right.
I was just curious.
Right. Yeah, it's within the platform, but that's certainly a point I could bring up with them.
You're that guy from that area. Spending that credit card, that's it. Shoot, good one.
I got stuff going off the dinner.
Courtney,
Mark wasn't there, huh?
I think from Moravia, you want to stay overnight anyhow. Nobody wants to stay in Moravia.
it's not necessarily in.
That's gonna be breakfast.
I go to Summerhill for a beer.
On the registry.
Working on man cave. Yep.
All right.
Go ahead. So Courtney, one of the things I found interesting, and probably you're looking at it already, that could, be a high attraction. I know that we have so many independent breweries who then are creating actual pubs, et cetera. But, we made national news.
Yes.
On, a first in the nation, best in the nation, with IP. So, I'm just thinking that's a great opportunity. There are folks, I have friends who come down from Rochester just to enjoy the products from the prison city.
Right.
So
some of that data
now
is in
that
the
it's
food and
national,
beverage. Yep. Yeah, and you're exactly right. So part of the Cayuga cuisine that we're looking at to do next year is actually videos of some of our producers, beverage producers. The wine enthusiast designation, naming the Finger Lakes the top wine destination. We do have a FAM tour scheduled for next year to bring food and wine writers here. So our PR manager's been working on that already. Yep.
I think that's one of Cayuga County's best kept secrets, that we are very to the forefront with white wine.
Yes.
And we produce.
The varietals, the Cabernet Franc. Yep, it's very special to us.
We're in the top 5.
Yeah, the region.
Yep.
There's recently was,
Yeah.
was noted as number one.
Yes, yep. So our PR manager already got on top of that.
Great.
So just a couple more quick updates. We have engaged our financial sustainability incubator program that we're doing for our nonprofit partners. We allocated 30,000 to this. We hired a consultant, Charlene Tarver, who has an extensive background in fund development. So we are opening that program up to local nonprofits. It's a way to provide them with a program to have better ROI on what they do rather than just kind of one-off events or grants or programs. It will help them learn how to do fundraising on their own, also board development, board engagement. So we'll kick that off in 2026. Also, we got our matching funds award estimate from New York State, which is coming in at $65,934, which is pretty average, what we typically get around the $60,000 mark from New York State. That helps us with our county and our regional marketing programs.
It matches what though? What
We
you
provide a
spend?
match, yeah,
Oh.
so the total is 131
Mhm.
and some change.
Yep.
That's how we buy into the programs with our Finger Lakes Regional Tourism Council. And just last quick little update, just to kind of help boost some of our businesses this holiday. We did something a little different with our holiday card that all of our elected officials and partners will get. On the back of it, you can redeem this card for a complimentary hot beverage at these participating businesses. We hit cafes and coffee shops all across the county. So people can redeem this card and get a complimentary beverage as a thank you.
Wonderful, great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More questions? No, we're good. I don't see, Dan Welch, so
No, he said he had to miss 2 months.
good to know. Wow.
Oh, sorry, I saw him this morning at WQMA.
Oh, you're talking, huh?
Sorry.
Cranky.
With that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Don't move.
And a second?
I'll second.
He's not on committee. All in favor?
Aye.
No, I want. Drive safe.
I got a question.
All right.
Jonathan?